a lot of people indulge in what I call the spiritual bypass, whereby they claim to be spiritual and they use words like light and love, but they don't actually, as you said, come from the heart. It's a semantic, a pure semantic, and it isn't coming. It isn't coming from the right place. They're bypassing. They're bypassing their feelings, and it's not being with their feelings.
Yeah,
not experiencing their feelings.
It's ego sense again.
Yes.
They need an ego bypass.
An ego.
Triple one.
But the ego is an activity. It's not a thing. People imagine that because Freud unfortunately gave us an ego when there is no such thing as an ego. Ego is a habit. We don't grow up from 1 to 3 with an ego. There is nothing there. There is just innocence. There is just God shining out of the baby's eyes. If somebody leans over the pram and says, "Kuchi, kuchi, hello," there's nobody saying, "You idiot."
We don't know that.
Or the little child and say, "You've got a big nose, haven't you? Or aren't you fat?" Or something like this. With no problem. Soon as the infant starts to become shy, then the sense of ego has begun to creep in to that paradise situation, that life that we had in all innocence and just looked with amazement at the world without thinking about it. We saw and we were just in awe. And this is the Garden of Eden situation in our lives. That's what it's all about. And Adam and Eve fell from the oceanic open God consciousness into self-consciousness, and they shrunk down, and then they wanted to cover themselves with fig leaves. Little children don't know they're naked, they just run about happily. But as soon as they become shy, they want to cover themselves up. This is because the sense of ego has begun to develop. We didn't start off with that. So we haven't got an ego, we've got a habit of retracting from the world and repulsing the world. This is a psychological mechanism of repulsion and attraction. It is not me. Teenagers say, "Well, that's the way I am." No, that is not the way you are. That is the way you are acting because you have believed that you are this sense of ego which you have bought into, which has nothing to do with you whatsoever. It is simply a psychological mechanism. And that is your prisoner. That puts you behind a wall of glass. When I was operating as a psychotherapist for 12 years, I had so many people felt that they were living behind a wall of glass and they couldn't reach out, they couldn't feel, even when they were making love with their partners, they couldn't feel they were really connected because they had this wall of glass which was the sense of ego. People say, "I must have a strong ego in the world." But it is a strong jailer. It is keeping you away from that openness that you had as a little child. You embraced the universe. You only had to go, "Wah!" and a big breast came out of the sky and fed you. You were omnipotent.